One of the reasons I love cruise vacations is the great value. From the accommodations to the food and the entertainment, cruise lines is the most affordable way to go. So if you're looking for a great cruise vacation and how to save on that coin, this is the right video for you. I'm actually going to go over 3 different cruise lines and show you exactly why I consider them the cheapest route to go. Hey friends, hey, welcome. I'm Natasha, your trusty travel advisor with the Olivia Chanel Bouget channel. I'm here to show you tips and tricks on affordable travel. Wednesdays is for the planning process, all things affordable with your planning and your booking. And Fridays is for after the booking when you're looking for affordable tips on the vacation hair, your vacation outfits, and even your vacation luggage. So tune in on Friday for tips on that as well. If you have not already subscribed, please do think about joining the family and hit that subscribe button. And those who have, welcome back. So I'm sure you asked, Natasha, what's a good cruise vacation price? So really that just depends on who's asking and what your needs are and what you're looking for in your cruise vacation. But the rule of thumb that I go by is $100 per person per day. That's typically what I consider as a great value for a cruise vacation. And if you can find one that's $50 per person per day, then you have a really great value. Keep in mind that all prices that I quote today, or examples that I give, are all based on interior cabins. When looking at value prices for cruises, the lowest is for an interior cabin. And what interior means is that it's in the center of the ship and there's no window or balcony. For myself, if it's a shorter cruise and I know I'm not really going to spend that much time in the cabin, then I don't mind doing an interior just to save on a short cruise. But if it's going to be longer than 2 to 3 nights, then typically I have to have an ocean view or maybe even a balcony, depending on my budget for that trip. The other part to the pricing is not only that it's an interior room, but it also is a guaranteed room. Usually the lowest price is guaranteed, and it means that the cruise line will actually pick the room location and the deck that it's going to be located on, or even if it's in the aft or the forward. Either way, you typically would not know the room until you're a week or 2 out. Maybe a little bit more depending on a cruise line. So keep in mind, of course, you do have the option to choose your room, also choosing a window or a balcony. Just keep in mind that the prices will be slightly higher with those options. But of course, today's video is about affordable and the cheapest cruise lines, the cheapest prices. So that's what I'm going to give you as tips today. I do recommend, of course, working with a travel advisor. And not just because I'm a travel advisor, but typically you would want to work with a travel advisor, even if it's not me. Most travel advisors are going to be able to get you a better deal than what you see online. And the reason for that is because they have a partnership or a relationship with that cruise line where they can offer even onboard credits that you won't see online. They can offer you little goodies like a bottle of wine, chocolates, things like that. Also, they can actually help you through things with tips and recommendations and helpful things to help you manage from the booking to physically getting on board. A lot of things that you don't get when you book directly with the cruise line. And also keep in mind too, that there are special discounts that can be offered with going with a travel advisor. A good travel advisor can also recommend or do a little bit more digging to understand if there's actual coupons and discounts that are available for you, such as a teacher, first responder, those discounts that usually you won't see online, but a travel advisor would have access to be able to help you with that and get those special rates for you as well. They also have a thing where they get group rates automatically with the supplier and for that ship and that sailing date. They may have group rates that are available to them, but not online, that are maybe significantly lower than what you see online as well. So truthfully, when it comes to cruises, I definitely recommend that you speak to a travel advisor when booking a cruise. You might find it the same or cheaper, if you're doing a land package, but cruises, not so much. One other thing about a travel advisor, they also have tools where they can put that cruise on a alert to make sure that it alerts them when that price drops or goes a little bit lower. They'll receive notification that that cruise that they're looking at has dropped, and then they can notify you, put it on a courtesy hold for 24 to 48 hours, and then allow you to get that time to make a deposit on a lower cruise fare, or even do a price match and turn it into onboard credit now that price has dropped. So there's a lot of benefits to using a travel advisor. So let's get into the actual cruise lines. The first cruise line I know a lot of you have heard about and does have a little controversy behind it is Carnival Cruise Line. So for me, I enjoy Carnival. I think Carnival is the fun ship, as their slogan says, and I truly agree with that. I think with Carnival, there are things that are said that are true, and then there's a lot that's said that's not true. So one thing about Carnival is I think that, again, working with a travel advisor, they can really help to get to understand you and know you better to help pick the right ship for you. Typically, the smaller ships, older ships, and shorter days, 2 and 3 nights, are the ones that are a little bit more party ships, as the young people say, more lit. And, the newer ships or the longer cruises seem to be more family oriented and a lot more calmer. So it really just depends on, what ship you're on determines how your vacation would be traveling with Carnival. But for pricing, hands down, they have the best value. I usually find the 3-day sailings, leaving out of either Port Canaveral or Miami, usually about $100 per person per night, heading to the Bahamas. Carnival does offer a lot of promotions that you'll see online, where they're offering the 40% off on the second person. But again, we've discussed about going with a travel advisor. They will help you really determine the cheapest promotion to look forward to. Now, keep in mind that Carnival is a family ship. So even though it's the fun ship, it's still very family oriented. So you will see a lot of kids, and especially depending on the time of the year that you go, you may see more. So there are times where you may see less, especially if you're going like the September, October timeframes. You'll see less children, of course, back to school. No worries. There are things in place that Carnival offers to keep you away from the crowd and for those kids. They do have the Serenity Deck, which is one of my favorite spots to go to. Very, very relaxing. Sometimes they even have a food area, a little buffet area. They have the bar area, but it's very, very serene and very peaceful and great views and no children. So if you're looking to get away from the crowds and get away from the running, screaming kids, then always remember that there is the adults only Serenity Deck. Now, that being said, of course, because there are a lot of children on Carnival Cruise, they do offer an awesome kids camp, which is the Camp Ocean by Dr. Seuss. Now, it's a great plan. They actually keep your children for free, starting at the age of 3 up to 17. So they have tons of activities and things where the kids can do different activities around the ship. They even have a teens club at night. So there's a lot of different things that are available in the kids camp, but just remember that you want to sign up as soon as you get on the boat to make sure that you don't have any issues with not being able to have them go to the camp and not enjoy that peacetime to yourself. So our next cruise that I feel is a great value, MSC Cruises. MSC Cruises is an Italian cruise line that has at least over 20 different ships around the world. And right now we do have a couple of ships that leave out of Miami and Port Canaveral as well, heading to the Bahamas and in the Caribbean. So they offer some amazing prices. Right now, I've seen some 4-night Bahama cruises leaving out of Port Canaveral or Miami that are going for less than $80 per person per night. MSC Cruises is a very nice cruise line. They don't have as much to offer as Carnival, but they definitely have the accommodations, food, and entertainment. They have multiple pools, lots of bars and the restaurants, and even a water park deck for the children as well. They do have the children's camp playground, just like Carnival, and they also offer many specialty restaurants and the private dining as well. Now, one of the best things about MSC Cruises is that they are the only cruise line that I found that offer longer cruises for even less. So you could find a 7-day cruise to the Caribbean for $60 per person per day. That is a great value for a 7-day cruise. One of the pros is that most of these 7-day cruises are on newer ships. So you definitely can't beat that with better accommodations, entertainment, and newer facilities on board. Now, one con with MSC Cruises is that it's not that wow factor that you get on Carnival as far as entertainment. The other thing is their food is not the best. So it's not disgusting, but it's also no wow factor either. It's kind of basic foods, bland, and I guess maybe because it's European ships, they're not the best when it comes to food. The other con is that their dining is assigned. So it can fluctuate and change, and you don't have the option to pick what time like you do on most other cruise lines where you can pick the 6 p.m. or the 8 p.m. or anytime dining. With MSC, you're actually assigned a time. So that could be at 6, it could be at 7, even 8. So that's one of the cons that I don't like. But the upside to that is you do have other options that you can do. You can still go to either a buffet or another specialty restaurant instead. So the last cruise that I want to talk about is, and I know this one's probably a controversy as well, is Margaritaville at sea. So I have not been on Margaritaville at sea yet. I'm purposely going to go on Margaritaville because I really want to see for myself what's the hype, is it bad or is it not? Because it seems like the reviews are 50-50. Some are saying that it was great value for the price, and then others are saying no, even for that price, they still would not do it. It's the worst cruise line ever. So I'm going to mention it because I don't want you to go out there and find it and be like, well, she didn't say anything about it. So I do want to mention it, but I'm also making sure I'm being very clear about the fact that there are a lot of mixed reviews. I kind of feel like it's that Spirit thing, like I told you guys about in one of my other videos, flying Spirit. For me, I don't have any issues flying Spirit. I think it's just the talk and people follow along with the trend. So I think it's one of those things where Margaritaville has had a bad rep, and maybe now that they've refurbished their ships and put out a new fleet, that maybe people are still going off of the old. And then too, who knows, maybe they did have a bad experience. But either way, I'm going to find out for you and make a whole video on just Margaritaville at sea and give you the real tea, the real truth. We gonna find out. So that being said, let's get into why Margaritaville at sea has made the list. So Margaritaville right now has been putting out promotions, and I know you probably have seen them, as low as $40 per person per day. The most I've seen is $70 per person per day. So with that type of value on a 3-night or a 4-night cruise is a great value, especially when we're talking the accommodations, food, and entertainment all covered in the cost. Of course, known for their margaritas, the best drinks out there. I've also seen where a lot of people did comment that the food was good, just depending on where you went or what you actually got. But I've been hearing a lot of good things about the food. The accommodations, some rooms have been refurbished and some rooms have not. It depends on what category of room you get. I'm going to go and give you guys the real tea. That way you know for sure exactly what we're talking about. So we know for sure if we want to go on a Margaritaville at sea cruise. So the most important tip of the video today is give your trusty travel advisor a call, and I will be more than happy to help you plan a vacation that's uniquely you. I hope these tips were informative and helpful. Thank you for watching, and don't forget to like, comment, and subscribe. Join the family and share with your bougie friends. Thanks again. Take care and stay blessed.